What is going on, winners? My name is Tamara T, and in today's YouTube video, I am going to be sharing with you everything that you need to know about Amazon FBA product research and the truth behind finding winning products to sell. Okay, so today we are going to get down to the real deal, the truth about winning products on Amazon FBA. I started my Amazon FBA business in 2017, so I may know some things that you don't know, especially if you are a beginner Amazon FBA seller or if you are someone that is in your very first year selling on Amazon. Now, the very first thing that you must know, that is the complete truth, is that there is no such thing as the perfect winning product. That's right. There's no such thing as the perfect product. Because when you first source any product on Amazon, I don't care if it's your 10th product, your 20th product, when you get your product up on Amazon and when customers are buying your product, they are going to leave you some reviews. Some reviews may be positive, others may be neutral or negative. And only then we are able to improve our product for the long term. So your very first batch of inventory is never going to be perfect. You may have done some research for what other customers are saying about your competitors' products. Maybe you've done some research on Google or YouTube or whatever source that you are using to do your Amazon FBA product research. You may think that you've done the research to source and launch this winning product. But the truth is, the very first batch of inventory that you order from your supplier, I don't care how amazing your supplier is, it's never going to be picture perfect. So in order for us to keep improving our products and in order for us to make money long term, in order for us to provide better quality for our customers, we have to see what our very own customers are genuinely saying about our current product. I know a lot of Amazon sellers are under the impression that their very first or second or third product needs to be perfect, but there's just no such thing. There is such a thing about finding good products and profitable products, sure, for sure. There are some winning Amazon FBA products that I know are going to make money. I know that this is going to win, but there's so many improvements that you as a business owner should be making along the way in your next batches of inventory that will really perfect your current product. And just so you are aware, your product may never be perfect, but as long as it is selling and as long as it is making you money, you are bringing money straight into your bank account, then you have a good product. But I think a lot of beginner sellers, especially Amazon sellers in their very first year of business, they are overly obsessed with finding the perfect product. And I just want to tell you that that is non-existent. You may be able to mold your current product into perfection later on as people leave you reviews and tell you if it's good, is it bad, do they like it, do they hate it? But your very first batch of inventory, I would say the very first few batches of inventory, when you restock your Amazon inventory, it's never going to be perfect. So don't lose your mind over this. Don't think that you need to have the perfect product the first time around. It's just never going to happen. You will eventually find the perfect product as long as you continue working on improvements to your current products and you know what people are complaining about, what they like, because people who are always complaining about something when it comes to your products, that's what you need to be fixing. And for everything that they are liking about your product, that is what you should continue doing and continue telling your supplier, hey, let's keep doing this for my product, but I need X, Y, and Z change for the next batch of inventory. So this is so important because a lot of people do miss this point that it does take time to perfect your product. Truth bomb number 2, you should never spend more than one whole month looking for this perfect product to sell on Amazon FBA. Look, if you are someone that has 1 to 2 hours every evening or morning to do your Amazon FBA product research, if you are using the right tools, if you have the right guidance, if you know what you are doing, you should not be spending more than 30 days to find the winning product, because then you will fall into something called analysis paralysis, where you are always over analyzing every single little detail. And let me tell you, going back to truth bomb number 1, it's never going to be perfect. So there are ways where if you were to source the wrong product, you can get your initial investment back. How awesome would that be? I know that for a lot of my students, when they started doing the Amazon FBA business all by themselves, they sourced the wrong product. They may have invested a few $100s or maybe even a few $1,000s. And then they're like, okay, how can I get this money back? There are ways to break even and to get your initial investment back. And that is the most important part. Also, if you think that you found the right product to sell on Amazon FBA, if it checks off 75% of what is important, then I would just take that product and I would run with it. Because what is important to know here is that you are trying to get exposure and to get experience so your second product can be the perfect product to sell on Amazon. But if you are falling into analysis paralysis, how do you expect to learn anything? How do you expect to get the experience? I see some Amazon sellers taking 6 months, even 1 year to source one product. And I'm just like, what is going on? Something is not right. Maybe they are overthinking. Maybe they are over obsessing. Maybe they are getting opinions and feedback from the wrong people. I talked about this in some of my previous YouTube videos, how important it is when you are starting any type of business that you are getting the right guidance, opinions, and feedback from the right people. So for example, maybe you are sharing your product idea with your parents who know nothing about starting an online business. How do you expect to get good feedback? You can't, because they are not in the same business as you. They don't know anything about this business. So when you go out there and try to get feedback or opinions about your product that you are trying to sell on Amazon FBA, you should always look for like-minded individuals who are on the same journey as you. This is so important when it comes to having success in any of your businesses. You need to be surrounded with the right people. So if you are someone that is currently doing Amazon product research, but you feel really stuck and you are already a few weeks in, maybe you and I have never met and you and I have never worked together, then make sure you click on the free Amazon training in the YouTube description below of this video, because you should watch my free training to the very end, and then possibly you may be qualified to hop on a one-on-one strategy session with myself or my team, and we will analyze this situation for you. Number 3 is knowing how to launch your product and knowing how to get your product to the very first page for a lot of keyword searches. A lot of beginners overlook this and they just don't know their launch strategy. They would take a product and they don't know anything about launching their product. Now, in order to become successful selling on Amazon FBA, in order for you to make profits and not just sales, you have to have a sense on knowing how to launch your product. Now, I don't expect you to know every single little thing about launching your products. There are so many ways to do it, but how I like to teach this to all of my success students, by the way, you guys should check out this success story right here, because with Kim, she learned how to launch her products and get them to page 1 100% organically and 100% within Amazon's terms of service. So going back to what I said about launching your Amazon FBA products, there are so many ways to do it, but there are so many people on YouTube teaching you how to cheat the system. You may be using something that is not within terms of service. So what I like to preach and what I like to teach on my channel here, and for everyone who has had success with me, is learning how to launch your products organically using Amazon PPC sponsored ads. PPC stands for pay per click. Now, I don't expect you to know how to build all of your campaigns. I don't expect you how to optimize all of your campaigns immediately from the get-go. But as long as you know that you are following a proven strategy on how to launch and rank your products, then that's really all you need in order to become successful selling on Amazon FBA. But a lot of the times when I talk to beginners or people who are in their first year trying to succeed in their business, they don't know a single thing about launching their products. So make sure that yes, you do need to have a good product, not perfect product. You need a good product that has proven to be profitable. And then you need to learn a bit about launching your product and getting your product to page 1. But if you don't have a product yet, you should not just jump into advertising and trying to figure that out, because without building the foundation of your business, without having the product, everything after that will just not make sense. So make sure you do your Amazon FBA product research, have your product, and then also make sure that you just know what your launch strategy is and what you are using to get your product to the very first page so customers will see your product and buy your product. Truth bomb number 4. This kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that you need to be responsible on improving your product and your brand long term. Just because the first batch of inventory doesn't work out doesn't mean that you should give up. The truth is, it takes time to develop a brand on Amazon. Maybe your brand only has one product. I mean, that's possible. I know a lot of people doing over $10,000 per month with just one product. Or maybe your brand has 2 products. It doesn't matter how many products you choose to sell on Amazon FBA, but what matters is that you are always improving the quality of your product, always giving the customer what they want based on their reviews, always making sure that you are continuously running advertising so you can reach more people and so you can rank for more keywords. A lot of people, after they get their product up on Amazon, they think that's it. Now I can sit back and relax, and that's not how it works. You can only sit back and relax after you find your winning product and after you know how to launch and rank your products and after you are getting steady sales. Now it's time to work on product number 2 and product number 3 and so on. But another thing that I see happening that I would love to see stop happening, the truth is you should not be launching multiple products at the same time. Because if you don't know what you're doing with your very first product, why would you launch 2, 3, 4, and 5 products all at the same time? It just doesn't make sense. There was a time I remember when someone came to me, I think they were from YouTube, they came to me and they told me, Tamara, I just tried to launch 13 variations of my product and I'm not making any money. What do I do? And I'm like, holy crow. You've spent 5 figures on inventory across 30 products and now you don't even know what to do with it. And most importantly, how do you know that this is the product? Why would you launch so many more products when your first product hasn't even proven to sell? So I hope that makes sense. And I can't stress enough how important it is to know that your first product sells before you add on more products. So to recap, truth number 4, always make sure that you are improving everything in your business and not just putting up a product blindly on Amazon, crossing your fingers and hoping to make sales. That does not work. Number 5, the last thing that you need to know here today, the truth about winning products on Amazon is that even though you find yourself a winning product and even though it becomes profitable, you are super happy with it, now you are selling 50 or 100 units a day, is that the truth is you will run into some challenges. With every single business, there will be challenges. There will be problems. There will be days where you feel like pulling your hair out. There will be days you will lose your shit. I'm not sure if you guys follow me on Instagram, but there are some days I'm just like, oh my gosh, everything's going wrong in my business. I'm super overwhelmed. I'm confused. Slow down. Deep breaths. you need to be taking action right away to fix that problem. And I see this over and over again with newer entrepreneurs, is that they are taking action way too slow. So for example, if you have a hijacker on your listing, you need to be dealing with that right away. Not in a few days, right away. Not in a few hours, right away. If you are suddenly getting a really high ACoS with your Amazon PPC sponsored ads, you need to figure out why right away, the same day. But I see a lot of people just, especially when it comes to launching their products, they're throwing in money for advertising and their ACoS may be really high, or maybe they are spending too much on advertising, or they don't know how to advertise. They don't know how to launch and rank their products, and they would leave it for 30 days and 60 days. And then Amazon will continue to take their storage fees or their fulfillment fees, but they are not profiting because they don't know what's wrong with their launch or their campaigns or whatever. And they don't deal with it the same day. So the truth is, you will run into some problems and you will need to pay very close attention to figure out what happened, what the problem is, and to fix it on the very same day. So sometimes when things like this happen in my very own Amazon FBA business, maybe my ACoS shot right up, maybe my sales slowed down, I am spending time the same day on figuring out what happened, going back and trying to problem solve what happened. And that usually happens the same day, the same very hour that I find out that if there is a problem in my Amazon business, I am fixing it right now, and I push off the rest of my plans for the rest of the day because business is important. When you prioritize your Amazon FBA business, that is when you will get the most success. I think a lot of people fall into thinking that they can just sit back and relax way too soon. And yes, you can, but you have to really make sure that you are working on everything in the front end before you dive into just sitting back, kicking back and relaxing. You have to make sure that things are taken care of, the product is good, your brand is good, your launch is good, you are selling steadily before you can actually sit back, do nothing, and relax. So I cannot stress that enough. Make sure that you guys are taking action the same day, the same hour. When something feels like it's off, when something happens in your business, you have to be taking care of it right away because you will run into some challenges and some problems. There's no such thing as a super smooth sailing Amazon FBA business. There's just no such thing. In business, in any business, you will always face problems, and it's up to you to hold yourself accountable and to take action to fix it right on the spot, or else you will just be burning money, losing time, and then more problems will happen. So don't fall into that trap. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video about everything that you need to know when it comes to Amazon FBA product research and everything that I told you I truly believe is the truth. If you guys have any comments or questions, then make sure you leave it down in the comment section below. I will see you guys in my next video.